Hello, I'm Rose. This is how you sign my name, and I work at the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. We have a special program called Summer at Your Library. This year's theme is called Tales and Tales, meaning animal tales and stories related to all things animals. Today we have 2 stories, and they're about when it's bedtime for animals. What might happen? Let's see.
The title of the book is Goodnight, Gorilla by Peggy Rothman. It was dark. It was nighttime at the zoo. The zoo was closed. There was nobody there. The zookeeper was making his rounds, walking around the zoo with his flashlight, making sure that all the animals were safe and sound. The first cage he came to was the gorilla's cage. He had a bike, a tire swing, and a bundle of bananas. He had a little doll gorilla and different toys that were spread out in his cage. The zookeeper walked by, "Good night, gorilla," and kept on walking. The gorilla saw that the zookeeper had a set of keys. The gorilla was excited and took them. The mouse was looking at the banana that was attached to the balloon. He wanted to get the banana. The gorilla had the set of keys of all different colors: red, pink, blue, green, yellow. The gorilla saw that his cage was red. He took the red key and he unlocked the cage. The gorilla jumped out. The gorilla followed the zookeeper as he shined his flashlight walking through the zoo. There's the mouse holding the banana. The zookeeper was walking with his flashlight. The gorilla followed behind him. And there was the next cage. There was an elephant inside. He had his ball. He had his toy elephant. The zookeeper and the gorilla were walking along, and the zookeeper looked and said, "Good night, elephant." The gorilla noticed that the cage was purple. He looked at his set of keys. There was the purple key, and he unlocked the cage. The elephant jumped down. Do you see the mouse? He's still holding that banana. The zookeeper was walking along with his flashlight, and the gorilla was coming up behind him. And then there came the elephant. The next cage, there was a lion sitting strong and proud. He was chomping on his bone. The zookeeper looked and said, "Good night, lion," and kept walking along. The gorilla looked at the cage. It was a blue cage. He looked down at his set of keys and found the blue key. He unlocked the cage, and the lion jumped out. There's the mouse pulling along that banana. The zookeeper kept walking along with his flashlight. The gorilla coming up behind him. Here comes the elephant, and then the lion. The next cages, there was 2. There was a hyena, and a giraffe. A really tall, long-necked giraffe. And he had a toy giraffe sitting in his cage. The zookeeper looked and said, "Good night, hyena. Good night, giraffe," and kept walking along. The gorilla looked at the cages. There was a yellow cage and a green cage. He looked at his set of keys. Oh, he has yellow and green. He opened up the cage. The hyena jumped out. Opened up the giraffe's cage, and the giraffe jumped out. There's the mouse carrying his banana. It was dark outside. The moon was out. The zookeeper still walking along with his flashlight. All the animals behind him. There was next a fence with an armadillo inside. He had toys as well. A stuffed baby doll, a bottle. The zookeeper looked at the armadillo. "Good night, armadillo." The zookeeper kept walking along. The gorilla looked down at his keys. He had one key left. It was pink. It matched the armadillo's cage. He opened up the cage and the armadillo jumped out. There's the mouse, still pulling along that banana. The zookeeper kept walking along with his flashlight. Here comes the gorilla, the elephant, the lion, the hyena, the giraffe, and the armadillo. The zookeeper got to his house, unlocked his door, and all the animals came into the zookeeper's house. The zookeeper came into the bedroom, sat down on the bed, take his shoes off. All the animals snuck in and found their spots in the bedroom. There's the mouse again, pulling up that banana. The zookeeper lay down and snuggled in his bed, and the zookeeper's wife said, "Good night, dear," and turned the light off. All the animals who were fell asleep in the room. The gorilla said, "Good night." The elephant said, "Good night." The lion said, "Good night." The hyena, "Good night." The giraffe, "Good night." The armadillo, "Good night." And the mouse squeaked, "Good night." The zookeeper's wife turned on the lights and looked around the room. "Oh, I am sorry, animals, but you have got to go back to the zoo. Come on." Here she went with her flashlight. There goes the gorilla, the elephant, the lion, the hyena, the giraffe, the mouse, and the armadillo into the zoo. The zookeeper's wife put all the animals back in their cages and said good night. She walked back to the house with her flashlight, with the gorilla right behind her. And here came the mouse. She went into the bedroom, sat down on the bed, lay down and snuggled into bed. "Good night, dear." "Good night." The gorilla and the mouse snuck into the bed, under the covers. They laid side by side, snuggled into the covers, and closed his eyes. The mouse squeezed in and said, "Good night, gorilla," and fell asleep.
Ready for a game? I'm looking for my little cat. Where did my little cat go? I think maybe he's inside one of these hats. Let's see. How many hats do you see? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right, there are 4 hats. Which colors do you see? Red, green, blue, and yellow. That's right. So which hat has the cat hiding in it? Can you guess? Should we look and see inside the red hat? Little cat, little cat. Hey, are you inside the red hat? No, he's not hiding inside the red hat. Now, where is that cat? I think maybe he's hiding inside the green hat. Join me and we'll call for him. Little cat, are you hiding inside the green hat? Nope. Darn. All right, that leaves 2 hats, blue and yellow. I think he's inside the blue hat. Will you join me in calling him? Little cat, are you inside the blue hat? No. Well, that leaves us 1 hat left. What color is it? Yellow. Maybe the cat's inside the yellow hat. Let's see. Will you join me in calling him? Little cat, are you inside the yellow hat? Yes, he is. Oh my goodness, thank you for helping me find my cat. Tuck me in. It's time for bed. Who needs to be tucked in? I do. Good night, baby pig. Who else needs to be tucked in? I do. Good night, baby zebra. Who else needs to be tucked in? I do. Good night, baby elephant. Who else needs to be tucked in? Ooh, look, there's 1, 2, 3 stars. I do. Good night, baby alligator. Who else needs to be tucked in? Oh, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 stars now. I do. Good night, baby moose. Who else needs to be tucked in? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. I do. Good night, baby hedgehog. Who else needs to be tucked in? Do you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars now? I do. Oh, good night, baby peacock. Does anyone else need to be tucked in? First, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars. Do you? Good night, you. Now for some Tuck Me In ASL vocabulary. Good night. Bed. Sweet dreams. Moon. Stars. Sleep. Read. Hug. Kiss. I love you. Tuck Me In's ASL rhythms and chants. Give them a try. Hope you enjoyed today's stories and game. If you'd like more information about the Summer at Your Library reading program or activities, please be sure to look at our website. It's www.pgcmls.info. Thanks again, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.